ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to all our 42, I think, followers, and to anyone who's ever had their private text messages leaked to The Guardian. Welcome to the Dad Religion podcast. Let me rephrase that. They're racist, horrible texts leaked to The Guardian. You will not be listening to this, but welcome to the Dad Religion podcast. I'm Jason. That over there is Jim. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing excellent, man. Got
Yeah.
a whole day yesterday with my grandson. Not feeling sick anymore. Finally, it took like 3 weeks for me to not feel sick anymore from whatever it was that I caught. So doing pretty good. And my Dodgers are going back to the World Series. And freaking and the make believe baseball character that we call Shohei Ohtani did like video game shit like in the last game. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's probably one of the single greatest games in baseball history. I mean, come on. Did you find? Did he have 11 strikeouts? I'm pretty sure it was 10.
It was 10. Yeah, 10.
Okay, so six innings pitched. He gave up 2 hits. I think he walked 1. I could be wrong. 0 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, 3 for 3 or 3 for 4 with 3 home runs. One of them went out of the damn stadium.
Yeah. Video game, dude. Like it's like playing fucking MLB. Crazy. Like yeah, that was. You haven't been to Dodger Stadium yet, have you?
Nah.
That is like so far away that you just can't really get your head around it. So it's a long way away, Jason. There's no way to compare it because there's no one else like him that does that unless you go all the way back to Babe Ruth, and that was such a different era of baseball that I just don't think you can compare those two things, But it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. The best part was, did you see the reaction from like Freddie Freeman in the dugout? And
I did.
Like those, dude. That's a guy who can hit the ball pretty far himself, right? Like reacting that way.
Mariners game tonight.
Yep.
It's 2-2.
No, I think it's 3-2. Didn't the Mariners hit a grand slam?
Oh yeah. So it's 3-2. So tonight could be the deciding game.
It could be. Yep.
And it's in Seattle too, right?
No, they're back in Toronto.
Oh, they go 1-1-1 for the last 3.
No, it goes 2-3-2. But they played. Seattle went 2-0 in the first 2 in Toronto.
Got it.
By winning the second 2 in Seattle, then Seattle won the third one in Seattle, and now they've got 2 games left. But Seattle confirmed. Yeah.
Well, that'll be a good series. I'd like to see Seattle in there, and I've said I'd like Seattle to win, which because they beat us, but I could care less. I'll root for you.
Just watch to see if weird, cool things happen. Like we've been talking baseball all year long, and you and I were both going into panic mode during like the month after All-Stars, after the All-Star game, because both of our teams like really did a big turnabout from how they were playing in the beginning. And dude, you pulled it together in the last like literally 3 days of the season. I think the Dodgers started pulling it together maybe right around the time that Kershaw announced his retirement. But they're playing right now like we've got 4 aces that are throwing like in a row, and originally when people were like, saying, dude, you got 4 aces on your team now, well, that's not fair, right? And then I'm like, well, yeah, but 3 of them are always on the DL, like this is like the way you've got to staff your team now if you're gonna have half the pitching staff on. I know. This is my head. It's cool. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next series. I think I'm predicting that Toronto is going to win tonight. That's going to go 7. That's not necessarily a good thing for the Dodgers because now they're going to be sitting around for 3-4 days. Even though it allows you to like get your starting staff all lined up, your rotation the way that you want it. Having too many days off gets you out of the field of baseball, and so that's when the other team sneaks one by you. Anyway.
Yeah, I'd hate to be a Brewers fan. They're literally the best team in baseball all year, win-wise. And then to go in and get swept? Ay.
That's why I say, Jason, I don't ever want to be the best team in baseball. I don't want my team to be a record-breaking team that wins the most wins of any team in history. I don't want that. That's weird pressure. I don't even want my pitchers to like win the Cy Young or be the shoe-in for the Cy Young because I don't want people to be thinking about that shit. I want them to be thinking about winning games and series and championships.
Yeah, I know how it is because my Lions were the best team in football last year, and then we went in and we had a bye, and then we lost.
Yeah,
It's like,
dude. Never want that bye. They look pretty good this year too, Jay. They're looking all right.
yeah, not looked better last year. But let's talk about these text messages.
Are we talking about the young Republicans?
Yeah, well, they're not really young Republicans because they're in their mid to late. They're in their 30s. Some of them I hear were in their early. Huh?
They're not teenagers. That's weird. I always, based judging by what I was hearing from a lot of people that were defending him, it sounded like they were teenagers or maybe like middle school kids or something like that. Tell me, who are these guys?
There's 20. Okay, I could be getting all this story wrong, but let's go for it. I think they uncovered something like 28,000 texts. The head of the the head of the Young Republicans, I can't remember his name, and he is probably in his 30s. He just had a text that said, "I love Hitler." Talking about Jewish people, talking about black people, women, rights, talking about everything. And Young Republicans.
Were there any women in this group?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how many people total there were in there, but it's a misnomer saying that the Young Republicans. They're not. They're in there. I'm sure there's some young ones in there, but there's, from what I read, some people in their early 40s, mid 30s, early 30s, late 20s. I mean, this wasn't like junior high kids. You know what I mean? These were.
I heard a lot of these kids have kids, so that kind of makes them adults, really.
The thing that's crazy to me is, like JD Vance will come out and defend this shit. This is our vice president. You'll never see a Democrat vice president defending something like this. He's like, "Oh, they're kids. They're kids." This is the same guy who's like, "Oh, they're calling us Nazis again because we did this." Look at what you're doing.
I'm sorry. I called you a Nazi after you said
Nazi shit. Yes, I'm sorry we called you a Nazi after you did Nazi shit. It's like, what? How can you even defend this? This is not defensible.
I don't think they have a choice because otherwise, if they start to erode at their own coalition, then their mandate and their support, they'll all run for the hills fast. And I mean, if it falls apart, it'll fall apart fast. That's a bunch of people that are knitted together that don't normally go together.
Yeah, but you look like a fucking moron trying to defend this.
You
look like an idiot.
They don't care.
Listen, dude.
Just when they say they don't care. They don't care, Jason. They look like racist and sexist and homophobes. Every fucking thing that they say. Why would they care if they look like a fool or a liar? I mean, honestly.
Yeah, it's crazy. It comes back to a quote I heard. It's like not all Republicans are racist, but every racist is probably a Republican.
That's crazy.
It's wild, the shit that is going on and the shit that's happening. It's like, and the thing is, like, we forget about this stuff as Americans. Like, after a week, it's like, what is going on? We forget after a week. Like, where's the Epstein files, bitches? We haven't talked about that in a while. Where's Charlie Kirk's shooter? How come we haven't heard from that guy? Where's fucking Erica Kirk and all this stuff? Why is Turning Point not speaking out about what is going on? We just forget about this stuff, and it's wild. You're just allowed to do crazy shit, and they just sweep it underneath the rug. And this will get swept underneath the rug also.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Everything seems different, Jason. There's so much going on. There's so much coming at you every week. I mean, a lot of it is that you're just drinking from a fire hose, right? And there's like, it's hard to like stay focused on this shiny thing over here when there's 20 more shiny things coming at you the next day. You know what I'm saying? So
You hit the nail on the
But,
head, buddy. That's
and
exactly what it is.
like we've discussed before, social media just really accelerates that whole fucking process. Like, makes it
Oh,
super fast. But
yeah, it's toxic.
I keep on seeing a lot of stuff about Epstein still. Like, there's a whole series of funny memes that goes like it's like on a long tangent. Looks like it's going one direction, and at the end it says, "And by the way, release the Epstein files." That kind of shit. Um, I said so. That's still out there. I mean, that's a fucking huge deal, dude. I mean, that we're talking about pedophilia coming to you from the people who lectured everyone in the world about pedophilia.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. Trafficking from the people who made trafficking the top of their list, which trafficking should be on top of the
absolutely.
list. So why are we not fucking talk? Why are we letting these people get away with it? But on a brighter note, this weekend we had the No Kings March, which was pretty dope.
Yeah. How did that look?
It's something that needs to happen monthly. I don't care what anyone says. You got to keep it going.
How did that
Got to
look?
keep it going.
How did it
I
look?
look, I look. I was just reading an article on that the Austin PD put out. They said everything was great. There was zero arrests made. Everyone was peaceful, which is the way it should be. Because
Absolutely.
as soon as you get out of line, they're gonna take that little bit and they're gonna freaking use it against you.
How
Period.
many people? How many people came out in Austin? Do you know? Was there an
I don't know. There was probably, I don't know, 15, 20,000 maybe.
I think
I'm
so.
not 100% sure because I try not to get go. I can't stand to that I can't stand being in crowds that big.
It's hard.
Um,
Like even at concerts, it's rough.
but at least in concerts, I can like leave before the very end and get to my car and be out.
Yeah, that's true. Um,
Um, but
so San,
I saw San Diego looked great.
I think
Um,
they clocked in at about 25K. That's what they said. That's kind of down from what they were last time. But I heard that the overall number of people, because I don't know how it is there in Austin, but there were several marches here in San Diego. So I think a lot of the people that were going to be going that would have gone to the Central March were in Chula Vista, East County, North County. Like there were, like I think Vista had 2 or 3 thousand. Which is
it was the same here. All the little cities right around Austin had them too.
that's kind of better, honestly. I mean, it's
Yeah, it kind of
cool,
spreads it out a little bit, you know.
right? And then you still have New York City and Los Angeles, where I mean, they had tons and tons of people.
Did you
New
see
York March,
Boston?
I did not.
Oh my god, dude. That was wild. There was a lot of people in downtown Boston. A lot.
Uh,
Crazy. Crazy.
no.
They're saying upwards of 5 million people countrywide.
You said I saw 7 million, but that's
I'm just reading an NPR article right now.
yours is probably the more up to date one.
They said 2,600 events were planned. It projected a bigger turnout. Oh, never mind. It said it projected a bigger turnout than the 5 million it said attended its previous nationwide march in June.
Interesting. So the last one was
They,
5. I imagine it's kind of hard. It got to be hard to count heads for something like this.
yeah, it's all an estimate. You know what I mean? There's no way to count heads. It's impossible. It's literally impossible
But the
unless you
fact that
make them line up.
it was large and it was peaceful, that's all that's really important.
Yeah, and that's democracy
It
right
is.
there. That's what because because I'm starting to feel democracy is well. I know democracy is slowly leaving us, and seeing things like this makes me feel better because
Yes.
I'm a person who believes that we always go through these phases in this country, and we eventually come out of them. Whether we're going to be scathed a little bit, you know, there's going to be something that's going to come out of it that we're going to be like, fuck, you know, that sucked, and now we're stuck in this. But I still believe the America that I grew up in. I still believe that 95% of this country is good people and want the best for each other. Uh, I think they say in order to make change, you got to have 3.5% of the country out doing this and staying out doing it, and that would be roughly 10 million people out of 380 million or whatever we have here. I think that's what it is, right?
In the country, 390
Yeah,
million. I heard. Or maybe
90. Yeah.
I can't remember.
So I think, and by staying out, I'm not sure if they mean just like stay out there every night, but just continuing to do this over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more too. It can't just be the same thing because no matter what, that'll become stale. We talked about before. We have a short attention span. Everyone does. That's not a left, right, or center thing. That's just 21st century thing. We were going to go, but we forgot we had babysitting duties yesterday. So, and had it been 2016, might have brought the grandson out and put him in the stroller or strapped him up and marched. We brought our daughters out when they were young. Sophie was still young in 2016, but things are different now. I'm not sure who's going to come out as the counter protester. Like, I'm not sure about the other side. I've marched since we've been down here in San Diego. Like, been to a lot of marches. And I've never really been afraid, not even of the opposition, even when they used to like bus people out to protest at the Pride Parade, which they don't do anymore. Like, even those people didn't scare me. But now with all the violence, people just not giving a fuck, and I'm not gonna bring my grandson out to that.
I think those people are outnumbered.
Oh yeah, for sure. Dude, the guy, he's got 200 rounds. They got to find someplace.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But
or a panic. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have my grandson and then something happens, there's a panic and everyone is running. I've never really been concerned about that kind of thing, but I kind of am now. Is someone going to drive a car into this parade? Crazy people do shit like that nowadays, and I just think things have changed in the last 6 years. The violence level has just gone up so much.
We've gone through a whole nother presidency since it. It's pretty wild.
I could hardly even remember the Biden presidency now. It's so weird. I mean,
he can't either.
You are welcome.
Yeah, because the Biden's presidency. Oh, what?
A little late on that trigger.
Is that our studio audience?
I couldn't.
Yeah, I think the Biden presidency was, everyone touted it how great it was. Yes, there are some good things, but looking back at it, I mean, it wasn't. Obviously, it wasn't that memorable. Or this one is so crazy that it just takes you away from it.
It was so different from my point of view, from my business's point of view. For one, like, dude, like the business environment has been terrible for the last 18 months. It's not good at all. It's like, on both ends. Like, I've told you before, because I'm a distributor, I'm kind of squeezed on both ends. My customers squeeze me on one side, my bread company on the other side, because they're both under pressure. The customers don't have as much money to go out, it seems, so they're not going out quite as much. So I'm down, even with like a couple of small spikes, I'm down probably like 10% at least, profit wise. And that's even with me increasing my number of stops. It's just not working harder to make less money. My my daughter, who it looked like she was like going to be getting some help, she's trying to start a business. She would like to buy a home, and she has a first-time child. And if the presidential election would have gone the other way, and if the other candidate would have kept their promises the way that this president has kept his, and he has kept his promises, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, right? Basically. So no one should be like, whoa, where'd that come from? Fuck that. This is what you bought. Anyway, if the other lady would have, if the lady would have won instead of the clown, there would have been, my daughter would have gotten $5,000 to help her for her first year as a mother. She could have gotten $25,000 to help them get a first-time home, and she could have gotten $30,000 to help her with her startup business. All of that is gone, and now what's happening is next year she's 26. She has to apply for the ACA, which is California Care here in California, because she's an independent and she doesn't have insurance through her employer. And now the ACA is being chipped away at and made. It's going to be so much more expensive because they've taken away the mandates. They're fucking everything up for my daughter and her family. This new regime that's come in, hard for me to not take it personal, Jason, because it's really fucking me up. Like, I'm having to dig out money from my pocket to help my daughter and my grandson stay afloat when the other party seemed to have a plan, or at least an offer, to help them out, a little bit. And keep in mind, the only reason why my daughter was on our insurance until she was 26 is because the Democrats passed the health care bill, which made the insurance companies keep her on my policy until she was 26. If it would have been the other guys, she would have been on Medicaid already, which is where she may end up having to go, because Christine and I can't afford to pay for their insurance, especially not at the rate that it's going up. This is just, it's ridiculous, Jason. It's hard to not take it personal because they're coming at me personally.
Well, let me say this. You should take it personal because they're coming. You're not the only one they're coming after. You just happen to fall into that. Everyone should take this personally, in my opinion. And everyone should take this personal, and they should take it to the voting box starting next year. Everyone who thinks that they've been fucked, and I think we've all been fucked in one way or another. I mean, I go to the grocery store and it's $200, and I don't even get half as much as what I got last time. Cars, everything's more expensive, and you should take it personally, and you should take it you should vote these people out of office. I'm not saying vote all Republicans out of office, but do your research, read who the candidates are, see what they voted for, what they've done. Like, to me, I was having this conversation with a friend, like, why are you voting if they're all under AIPAC? Well, I don't have any control over them being under AIPAC, but I have control of the things that I feel are correct and right, and if they're going to do it or not. Like, AIPAC, yeah, it's a horrible thing. I say fuck the Democrats and fuck the Republicans who are taking money from AIPAC. Fuck them all. But there's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is get out, do my best to get out who I think is just a horrible human.
What is it like from your point of view, from your job's point of view? Does the company that you're working for, do they seem as though things are going smoothly? Does it look like the economy is doing well for them? Are they investing in the future, expanding your?
Yes, on all those.
Yeah, they are. So you see it from a certain point of view, right? You manage several kitchens. They all have staffs. Those people, how are they doing? Those people that you see that are, normal hourly employees, like somewhere between, $18 and $26 an hour type people,
We take very good care of our employees where I work. We treat them well. We pay them a living wage. They're offered insurance. We do the best we can out here. I mean, the out here in the state that I'm in, minimum wage is $7.25. Yeah. We go way above and beyond that. So I don't really hear anything about it. I know everyone's struggling financially. I don't hear too much about my employees. I don't really know, to be honest with you. No one voices their opinion. But I mean, we do our best to make sure that they're happy.
It's interesting because I look at the economy from completely from a retail point of view, right? Because I'm looking at goods being bought, sold, and that's where I make my money. So it's part service industry, part sales, all that other stuff. I understand what the pressures were before. Before they were leaving business on the table because they couldn't fill positions with employees. That was both out at the casino and at the restaurants. That I serve a casino, I serve restaurants, right? The restaurants couldn't get enough servers. They were closing down stations. You know what I'm saying? During peak hours, the casino was actually closing down. They closed their deli down, which was one of their bigger selling, or one of their bigger sellers, and they just didn't have enough employees to keep it open 7 days a week, and so they would do half days and only have it open 5 days a week. And literally, and you could tell because every once in a while they would suddenly have enough employees, they would open up more, and you'd see how much more business they were doing. And then when they would shut it back down, you're like, wow, they're leaving all that on the table. That's crazy to have. So I understood what the economic forces were, what the pressures were 2-3 years ago, right? I don't understand what the economic pressures are now that's driving down, um, except that there's fewer people on the casino floor and there's fewer people in the restaurant eating. That's all I
It's a trickle down effect, right? If
could be. I mean,
people don't have the money to go out, they don't have the money to gamble, they don't have the money to buy food. Everything, our food has gone up immensely, all around. Um, I, yeah, I don't know. I haven't been in the casino business in, God, it's going on 6 years now. So, not really sure what the environment looks like there.
it's just, I mean,
But
I can tell. I judge it by how many people are on the casino floor. Usually, Jason, that's the bread and
yeah,
butter. I have to walk across the casino floor to get from the hallway to one of the stops that I serve, and I count heads. You know, if it's a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and I see 30 or 40 people at the machines on the way out there, then I'm like, okay, they're doing pretty good. There must be people in the hotel. There must be, groups coming out and doing their trips. If there's like a dozen or less, then I'm like, what's going on? That's
there was a period of time. I can't remember the exact period of time. I think it was right, it have been right after COVID, where I would walk out on that floor and I'd see like three people,
right, dude. That was
and
crazy.
you'd be like, "Oh, what is?" It? And we would be just so slow. It was like for like
That's
5 6 months. It was just like, "Oh, am I gonna have a job here soon?"
so funny.
Uh, and
You know what?
then and then
What?
it just turned around and it just got packed, and we were like, "Oh God, thank God."
Yeah. Think about this. Even if there hadn't been like stay-at-home orders or anything like that, think about what the restaurant and entertainment and hospitality industry would have gone through anyway, just from maybe 2 out of every 5 people deciding on their own to not go out in public. You get what I'm saying?
It
Like,
still would have been better
no,
than what they
it
did.
would have been, you would have had more. Well, I don't know if it would have helped the bottom line, because then you wouldn't have gotten the money from the government to help you stay afloat. You see what I'm saying? Like the government gave companies money based on their employees that they kept employed and all that other stuff, only if everybody stayed home for that period of time. So if you would have said, okay, we're not doing anything like that, but people just started deciding arbitrarily, 2 out of 5, maybe sometimes it's 3 out of 5 people are staying home. No, there's just too much. I'm not going out. Now you've got all of those businesses having to deal with those pressures without having anything behind them to back them up or to help them
But
out.
did they give money to restaurants? I thought that was just essential businesses.
No, they gave anybody who stayed home, or any business, okay, any business that kept employees were able to apply for the loan, which was then written off. It was you know what I'm saying?
So
So,
my initial reactions during COVID were, hey, they're doing this for the good, of health. My reaction nowadays is it was just bullshit, and they should have at least given them a chance to survive,
who?
and they should have given the loan and let them stay open with some little restrictions, maybe. You know what I mean?
I don't
That's
think you
my
and
opinion.
I don't think we're going to agree on that, Jason. But maybe
That's
maybe
that's okay.
Christine and I lost a lot of people like during COVID.
Sure, 100%.
And
But
so if and that was with things shutting down. So how can
my thing is, you give people the option. That's they want to go out, they go out. They want to come into work, they come into work. They don't, they don't. You have an option. At least let them
you're only
stay open.
no, let me tell you why I think that's wrong. You're only giving the option to the who are willing to go out there and doing that. You're not giving that option to the people who want to stay healthy but still have to have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I going to do? I have to go out because I've got to support my kids. This place is open, and he says that as long as he's open, I got to come in, or I don't have a job anymore, and there's nothing for me to fall back on.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if I guess it depends on the owner, but if you have an employee that doesn't want to come into work because they're scared, then they stay home.
So Christine and I knew like 7 or 8 people who passed away from COVID, right? So let us say that they never shut down, like you're talking about. We gave people the choice.
Yeah.
How many people would that have increased on our end? And at what point, where is the number where we decide, okay, no, everyone should really stay home? That's the cost is too high.
I can't give you that number because I don't have that number. These are just my thoughts that I don't tell anyone, and now I'm telling you.
But now you're rethinking it, right? Because I made a plausible
argument. No, I'm not rethinking it. I think that they should allow in the beginning, I thought it was a good idea, but so many people lost their livelihoods, lost their businesses, lost everything. Oh, how many restaurants? Why don't Google how many restaurants had to shut down due to COVID restrictions completely? A lot. Lots. Thousands upon thousands.
I only knew of 2 on my route. Most of the restaurants survived, and all of the ones that got the assistance from the government survived.
Let me see.
And the people who lost their business, did they not apply for the assistance? That's a pretty important.
So the National Restaurant Association estimates that we lost 72,700 restaurants during COVID.
And how many restaurants go out of business every year just because they're restaurants, and that's a hard business?
Not that many. Let me look.
See, I'm curious, like, do they include, like, the Red Lobster closed over here? That was going to close anyway. No one goes there. And the Soup Plantation, that closed, but they've been under financial stress for many years, so they might have gone anyway as well.
So yearly 886 restaurants on average close.
Well, that's a lot more, obviously. You said 72,000?
Yeah. Oh, wait. The year 2020 saw an extreme event where 110,000 restaurants closed permanently or long-term during the pandemic.
Okay, permanently or long-term. Long-term means that they were closed while the government was closed down, right?
I don't know. I don't know what they're basing that on. I will just tell you a lot of restaurants and a lot of people lost their livelihoods due to the closures. Like some places, they wouldn't even let them do takeout. You know, you couldn't do. I mean, there was no. Jason, it was just like you're going to do this and you're going to do that.
We live in California, and that's about as strict of a place as any. And I don't know of any place or any time when we weren't allowed to do takeout. Even
there was, but some people just didn't have the capability to do that either. You know what I mean?
They weren't built that way. That sucks. Sometimes you do take risks when you start a business, but
you don't take risks that the government's going to shut you down. That's not how it works. That's just
so here's the calculation. Here's the math equation, right? What is the balance? How many lives need to be lost for how many jobs saved? You get what I'm saying? Like, where's the balance on that? Which one is more important, and how do you draw that line? For Christine and I, even with the shutdowns being done, we knew a good amount of people who died, you know, and a couple of others who didn't die but who haven't been right ever since. So if the shutdown had never occurred, then you've got no mitigation, right? Now the only people that you have that are staying home are the ones, like you said, who are choosing to stay home because maybe they've got health issues or something like that, or maybe their employers, by the grace of God, have decided to, no, why don't you work from home so that we don't spread this around or something like that, right? So does that go up to 18 people? And how many jobs need to be saved in order for those other 8 deaths or those other 10 deaths?
So you're going in a. I understand your way of thinking.
Okay.
There's and I agree with you in some aspect. There's you guys knew 7 people pass away, and I'm sorry for that.
I think it was about 7. I'd have to go through the names. 2 people at my high
And
school.
then there's me on the other hand, who I didn't know anyone who died from COVID.
You didn't know a single person?
So no, so I think that there's 2 extremes to it. You know, I didn't experience that, and you did. So I get it. I understand. I'm 100%. I understand your thinking, and I'm not saying my thinking is right, but maybe if I would have experienced what you experienced, my thinking would be a complete 180. You know. So
there's something else that we don't even really talk about, and that a shutdown might have never been necessary in the first place if they would have just gotten masks out to everybody.
Yeah.
And they could have done that. They could have said, "Hey, you're a textile company. You're closed for this anyway. You're doing nothing but making masks. Everyone needs to have every single family, every person has a new, brand new, perfect mask for every day of the week."
It was such a weird time, man. It feels like a lifetime ago. We only shut down where I was working for 2 weeks. All right. In those 2 weeks, all I did was drink my face off.
Yeah.
Stuck in the house. The essential liquor store was open. And I just drank my face off for 2 weeks. After that 2 weeks, I was like, oh my God, I'm never drinking again. Get me back to work. Get me doing something. Because, that sucked.
We played, what's the game with the little ping pong balls where you try and bounce it into the cups and stuff like that?
Oh, are you talking about beer pong?
Beer pong. We played beer pong with Bella for her 21st birthday here in our living room. Because she was, her 21st birthday got shit on. And as did my 50th birthday and her 21st. Both got shit on. Anyway, and then over at Johnny B's, we went to go do takeout, and we go to pick up our takeout, and Johnny's like, "Oh, you guys want to buy some wine? I'll sell you cases at cost." We're like, so we come home with 2 cases of wine. We were so drunk, bro. We were so drunk for those 2 weeks. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was disgusting. It was great though. I had so much fun. But I hated myself after. I'm like, fuck, I've drank 6 days in a row. I didn't get plastered drunk, but I'd have cocktails at night. I'm not a day drinker. I never drink during the day. I hate it, to be honest with you. But at night, whew.
11 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's just 8 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, I think we should wrap this bad boy up.
All right, man.
I hope you have a good Sunday, and I hope that the Raiders win for you.
I don't care.
I know. I was thinking of something to say, but yeah.
Yeah, it's all right, dude. Tough loss yesterday, USC against Notre Dame. That was hard to watch, but
They're playing Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame's top 10 ranked team.
Yeah. Who have they lost to? Notre Dame was 4-2. They had 2 losses going into yesterday's game.
I have no idea. I think they lost to Stanford. Notre Dame football. They lost to. Let's see. So NC State. They lost to Texas A&M, and they lost to lost to Miami. Miami was number 2 at the time.
Yeah, those are 2 good losses. Okay, I couldn't understand why Notre Dame was still ranked 13 at 4-2 and USC was ranked 20 at 5-1, but now I understand. And then having watched Notre Dame yesterday, that was tough, dude. They ran all over us. Yeah,
USC wasn't ranked to start the season too, so they got to climb back up in.
That's true.
I think they got ranked after they put a whoop ass on my team. So
And that's weird because I thought that was going to be a tougher game than Notre Dame 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, we beat the shit out of USC last year. This year, we get our ass whooped. So it is what it was. A tough weekend that weekend.
Oh, and then the worst part of it all, the part for you and I that brings the bile up here is that Ohio State is ranked number 1 still.
Yeah, but they can be ranked number 1 all you want, but when they get out of college, they're just gonna be pizza delivery guys and janitors. And they're still going to live in Ohio, which is probably the worst thing they could ever do.
In the NFL, and we're going to hear them on Monday Night Football talking about from Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
Get out of here. Anyways, I love you, brother. Be good, and we'll talk soon.
Peace.
Peace.
Hey.